Oh my god, I'm so happy to finally have new strings on this guitar. It feels great. But anyway, what's going on everyone? My name is Derek Plavin and welcome to episode 55. Now, if you're new to this channel, this is basically a free online jazz guitar course that unfolds in a logical manner and keeps building upon itself. So if you really want to benefit the most, I would go back to the beginning and try as best as you can to go in order. I know that a lot of the videos are long, but what you could do is, since you clicked on this one, maybe check this video out first, and if you like it, then you can go back and watch maybe the first 3 or 4 episodes, and then you could take it from there. And I'm also available for private lessons and have a lot of available accompanying PDFs to go along with a lot of the videos on this channel that are available on my website as well as my Patreon. Alright, so today's video is picking up right where the last one left off, and I'm going to continue discussing the topic of working on the body component or technique. I'm not going to do a whole intro with this one today, since I did that in the last video. So make sure to check that out probably first if you haven't seen it yet. Now, in the last episode, I was discussing practicing technique with a chromatic scale type of an approach, where I'm playing stuff that generally covers a large range on the guitar and frequently shifts positions when you're playing through these scales, which is something that you're basically developing. Whereas today, I'm going to be specifically discussing these simple, repetitive mechanical exercises that will really accelerate your progress when it comes to your technical skill, as these exercises target these specific small kinds of movements that we do with the pick that we're likely utilizing all the time. It's funny, when I was younger and I was into music like any kind of, lead, metal, solo type of, rock guitar or like shredding and stuff like that, I had this popular book that some of you may remember and recognize. It was called Speed Mechanics for Lead Guitar by Troy Stetina. And in a way, these exercises that I'm going to show you today kind of remind me a little bit of some of the stuff that I remember from that book. But alas, I did not get these exercises from that book. I feel very fortunate to have gotten these exercises from the incredible human being and jazz guitarist, the great Rodney Jones. I've mentioned Rodney on this channel before, and I consider him to be one of my most important mentors, not just in jazz guitar, but in life. He has so much valuable wisdom and experience to offer, and if you're interested in studying with him, you should really check out his Tune World course that is available on Facebook. I promise you, he is the real deal and is highly credible and has played with lots of the greats. Anyway, I'm going to show you these 4 exercises today that I had gotten from Rodney, and Rodney had told me that he had originally gotten these exercises from his guitar teacher, Bruce Johnson. So I'm just continuing on the passing on of this invaluable knowledge. Now, when Rodney originally showed me these exercises, he referred to them as diagnostic picking exercises, which made sense because he initially used these exercises the first time he heard me play to basically assess my technique. But he also obviously said to practice these as well. Inevitably, these exercises, for me, turned out to be so essential for my progress, and I'm not even sure that Rodney may have anticipated how far I would take these exercises into detail as far as how I practiced them. So, Rodney, if you're ever seeing this, thank you so much. I've learned a ton of great things from you, obviously, but even just this stuff alone has had such a significant impact on my playing, and I'm forever grateful. So, just like with the chromatic scales in the last episode, I'm not really going to be getting into the so-called programming of these exercises today, and I'll be talking a lot about that in the next video, so this way you'll really be able to understand how exactly I practice these. These exercises are also really specifically helping me to develop the Benson picking style that I'm trying to get better at, or really whatever picking style you may choose, because keep in mind, if you're going to be doing exercises like this over and over again, you may as well try to intentionally do them consistently with a particular type of picking style that you're trying to really get good at, because if you're practicing it hopefully properly, whatever you keep doing over and over again, you're going to get better at, obviously. Of course, when we're practicing these, if we really want to get them accurate and develop as efficiently as possible, we must be using a metronome. Like I've been saying a lot lately, when it comes to practicing your technique, if you really want to do it properly, you can't really separate technique from time. Unless you're a little kid who may be first starting out learning music, it's actually kind of laughable to me that I feel like I even need to remind people of this sort of thing. Because, come on, what do you think this is? A lot of times I feel like people want to get real results without putting in any real kind of work. And to me, sometimes it sounds like people try to make excuses for their time, or say things like doing exercises like these in time can be difficult. But in my opinion, not really if you're just starting out properly and doing them slowly and comfortably enough so that it feels doable, and then you just progress from there. And if I were to compare this again to something like working out, that sort of thing to me kind of sounds like if you were to make a general statement and say something like, doing the bench press in general is hard because I'm not strong enough. But would it be hard if you started at a light enough weight so that it felt really easy and doable and you can do it accurately, and then just build upon it from there? So hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying. So I'm going to get into these now, and if anyone is interested, I made a PDF that has all these exercises in it that will be available on my website and Patreon, and the links will be in the description. So for the first exercise, I'm going to start on the A string at the 5th fret, and I'm basically going to go 5, 7, 8, and then on the D string, I'm going to go 5, 7, and then that pattern just repeats, just like that. Right? And as far as the picking goes, because I'm trying to do Benton style picking, I'm doing economy down and alternate up. So that only happens once in both directions. So I'm going down, up, down, up, then it starts again with a down, right? Now, when I do these, obviously I do it in time with the metronome, and because that pattern is 5 notes, it makes the most sense to just practice these as quintuplets. So 5 notes per beat, basically, or per click. So if I put it at a tempo like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So that's basically the first exercise. And like I said, the next episode we'll really get into how exactly I'm working on these. Alright? And for all of these, including this one, whatever the left hand is doing or where I'm fingering this is not really that important. That's just where I consistently play these exercises, or at least that one. But what we're really working on is the right hand and getting smooth with whatever the mechanics of that particular exercise are, alright? So, the fact that I start at the 5th fret on the A string, there's nothing really significant about that, okay? So, the second exercise is kind of similar to the first. Instead of just kind of repeating going in one direction, we're going to be kind of going back and forth now. So, we're starting in the same place, 5th fret of the A string, and we're going 5, 7, 8. Same thing on the D string, 5, 7, 8. And then on the G string, just 5. And then we're going backwards. Right? Now, I'm kind of playing that with an even subdivision, but really when I do these, this one has more of a triplet feel because there's 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can say it's like a 12-note pattern. So that's a grouping of 3. So this one makes the most sense to practice as any sort of triple sort of subdivision, whether that's 8th note triplets or 16th. So I usually practice them as 16th note triplets, but just to show you the difference, 8th note triplets would be 3 per click. right? And then 16th note triplets would be like this, right? And it's essentially the same thing, just twice as fast, okay? Now, moving along from there, the next exercise is a little different, but it's also with a sort of triplet grouping of notes. So I'm going to start again on the 5th fret of the A string with the index finger. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 5, then I'm also going to go 5 on the D string, so I just go right underneath, and then 7. So, right, and the picking pattern for that is down, down, up. And then the second time after that, I'm going to do the same thing again, but instead of starting on the 5th fret of the A string, I'm going to start on the 6th fret with my middle finger. So it goes like this. So all together, and then you just repeat that. And it's like down, down, up, right? So like I said, this one also has a triplet sort of grouping of notes. So that one with the metronome, I'll just do a 16th note triplets. Triplet, triplet, triplet. Right? And when I do this one with 2 different variations. I do it on the beat and I do it starting on the off beat. So off the beat would be like this. Right? And on the beat, off. Right? So that's the third one. Okay? And then from there, the last exercise is the one that's the most different and has the most shifting. So basically, this one is really working on the sweep technique. I'm going to start on the 1st fret of the G string and play what looks like this second inversion major triad shape. Basically, 1 on the G string, 2 on the B, 1 on the high E, and then 4, right? And then from there, I'm going to take that shape and shift it up, and then come down. And then that basically just comes up and down. And I move it up. And then when I get to the 12th fret, I just go backwards, right? And this one has an even grouping of notes. So you could do these as 8ths, you can do these as 16ths. I usually do these as 16ths, but just to kind of show you both 8th notes. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, right? So that's 8th notes, and then 16ths. Right? So I don't have to show you the rest of that now, but that's basically what that exercise is. And just like with the other ones, you know, the fact that I'm playing this with a major triad instead of a minor is not that significant in my opinion. And even if you were to do this as a minor triad instead, I don't think it would be developing that much more, at least in terms of your right hand. And you're not really working on too much with the left hand anyway. But of course, to have them synced up and, you know, having them coordinate together and in time is still important, but this is really more of a right hand exercise, okay? So, like I said, I'm not really going to get into the programming of these today. I just wanted to present them to you and show you how they sound and how they work in time, but that's all coming in the next video, okay? So I'm just going to keep this one short today and leave it there, and if anyone has any questions or anything they want to say, just put it in the comments. I'm here to help. And like I said, in the next episode, hope you're ready for the next episode. Hey, I'm really gonna get into the programming of a lot of this purely technical mechanical work and show you exactly how I practice this stuff with certain kinds of reps and progressing through tempo intervals and whatnot. So I think that stuff will help a lot. So that's it, and if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a like and consider becoming a subscriber as well as a contributor to Patreon, where you get all the PDFs on this channel for only $5 a month. And if you think anyone else would enjoy the content, please share it with them as well, and I will see you guys in episode 56.
Swinging and playing the blues. That's what we about. I try to help you.